What are you afraid of? A lot of fears people have stem around rejection, abandonment, about attack, neglect, about not belonging. And so I would say take a look at the things that scare you in your life, that hold you back, that keep you from thriving. And we tend to do to ourselves what has been done to us. And so if you're afraid of rejection, notice how you're rejecting yourself in your life. If you're afraid of abandonment, notice how you're abandoning yourself in your life. If you're afraid of not belonging, notice how you are keeping yourself isolated from yourself. If you are afraid of neglect, notice how you're neglecting yourself. Because the fear that lives inside of you is acting upon you. And so you're looking oftentimes outside of yourself to have someone else reflect back to you a different reality. But how is that possible when that reality lives inside of you? And whatever lives inside of you is only going to get mirrored by your reality. So you're kind of stuck in this cycle, right? So first of all, understand that fear is not the truth. So when you fear rejection, the only fear that really is happening is the rejection that you're having in yourself, you see? And when you're fearing abandonment or you're fearing anger from others, that fear is simply energy that's already living inside of you. So when you can start to challenge the ways that you interact with yourself based on the things that you are projecting outward, you start to shift that relationship with yourself. If you stop abandoning yourself, if you stop rejecting yourself, if you start treating yourself better, stop neglecting yourself, right? That is going to begin to get expressed outward. And if it's not happening, no matter how hard you try, you can't change that. Take a look at the part of you that is invested in having that behavior towards yourself. So if you reject yourself, notice what is it that's going to happen if you stop rejecting yourself? What do you fear was going to happen? If you start treating yourself better, what do you fear is going to happen if you start accepting yourself, if you start caring for yourself, if you start valuing yourself? Sometimes it just means to confront how we were treated in the past and maybe face some of those painful experiences. Sometimes it's about having to say goodbye to someone in your life who is not really being kind to you. So if you start being kind to yourself, you're going to have to face the reality of no longer tolerating certain behaviors from others, right? So the first step is starting to get honest with yourself, really starting to realize that the power actually lives inside of you to create that change. And if it's not happening, that just means that that part of you is feeling that change that you think you want is actually going to be something that's going to create pain or lack of safety. And so when you start to recognize that there's an aspect of yourself that is actually invested in you staying this way, and you get to know its motivation, then you actually have choice. You actually have a decision to face whatever it is that you think is going to be something that is uncomfortable in the moment, but ultimately is going to lead to exactly what you want. Or you can make a decision not to make the change, but at least it's a conscious choice.